Good evening, Monica. Maybe my face will be there, but I'm excited today. Thank you so much for coming. I can tell you that the quiz section, we are ready for you and we're on fire. So thank you for coming.
I'm very happy and humbled that you managed tonight to grace this function. I know for all of you been in events management, it's not easy to roll out such forums, particularly in Mombasa. Times come when we sit down and ask ourselves hard questions. Should we continue on this property or should we murder it? The thinking behind that usually being driven by commercial consideration. Sometimes at the expense of burning our fingers, we've rolled out this forum in Mombasa. Give me a clap. So because of the unmeasurable love for you people, we keep coming. And I stand here to tell you that in partnership with Safaricom, Saroba Whitesons, Baraka FM, and of course all of you for accepting to grace the forums, we have agreements that are lasting the next 24 months. Another cloud, please.
I'm urging you to have a sense of ownership for this property, because I can tell you it's one of the only ones that is regular, that has been on and on for years on end, pulling professionals from different categories, and I want you to work with it.
Good evening. Just turn to your neighbor and tell them shikamo. When you come to us, it's not always pay for airtime. When you come to us, we can always work together because we want to help you grow your business. So what we tell our clients, we are your partners. We are like the extension of your marketing department. You do your plans, you do everything. You come to us. We have the over 4 million listeners in Coast. We'll help you reach out.
Representing Safaricom this evening. Happy to be here. We are quite a number of us, so I'm here really to represent the bigger team from Safaricom. I was just to really appreciate being part of these sharp brains that are in this room. Above all, we really celebrate and have fun. So I'll not be long, so I'll just end it there and wish everybody a lot of fun tonight.
Now, the generational conversation has been going on for decades. It is a conversation that will probably never be settled. Generations have gaps, and therefore these generations have different points of views in anything, be it business, be it family, be it politics. Everybody is grappling with a generational challenge.
2013, our political arena, full of cartoons, all of them by the way are cartoons, ended up focusing on the youth question. And we saw all sorts of weird people declaring that they are youth. I also had to be forced to call myself. In fact, even now, as the chairman of the youth advisor, I don't know what the president was thinking, but surely, mzee kama mimi sasa ni kijana number 1. And it's a challenge for a lot of people, and it is because I think there has not been sufficient generational conversations amongst ourselves so that we can contextualize why generations have different perspectives. This evening I will attempt to start our thinking so that we begin to understand why generational differences bring serious and significant challenges at the workplace and for your business. in trying to understand generations, I will try and focus to the people I imagine are still alive. The oldest I know of is about 116 years. That means they would have been born somewhere around 1900. That's the first generation I want you to address this. They're probably not productive. They're probably not as active, but they are significant. This is a generation that was born 1900 to 1920, so most of them are, well, by the way, just so that I am clear, there are only 0.05% of them employed. So that's like what? 10 people. Right? But they're there. So many of them are, well, that age group is what? That would put them at 96 to 116 years. I call them the veterans. They're very conservative. They were born and brought up when there was no schooling, no civilization, no nothing. They are highly and efficiently tribal and ethnic. That's their viewpoint. Very conservative. So any logic with this kind of people is based on one premise: ethnic conservative. Period. Any other conversation they will not have. Then there's another category of another generation that was born after these guys. Between 1920 and 1940. This is when the colonialists had come, they had built the railway, they made themselves very comfortable, and the colonial rule began. And these guys are colonial in their thinking. They are very submissive, but they are educated. Because these are the people who are told by the colonialists, you must go to school. Right? Today, they form the larger majority of Christians. The true Christians. Sio wale wanaenda kwa kanisa wamebeba Biblia tatu, wamevaa Sunday best, kuonekana, alafu wanaenda wanarudisha chini, jioni wanapatikana wapi? Zila. Hawa wakirudi nyumbani jioni wanapiga magoti, wanasali, and they fast for the rest of the week. They are true Christians. Because that's what they were taught by the colonialists. So their thinking reflects how they were brought up. The third generation is the pre-independence generation. These guys were born 1940 to 1960. So they saw the struggle when Kenyans had started agitating and saying, you know what, now we want self-rule. I call them the pre-independence generation. They are very free in their thinking. They are agitators. They are the guys who are brought up under the state of emergency, so they know the hard hand, the steel hand of the colonialists. They face oppression, and they have a certain sense of entitlement. Sisi ndio tulipigania. There's nothing you tell these guys. Today they are the owners of capital. They're the owners of businesses. They're the guys who own banks. They're the guys who own buildings. They are probably your landlord. That's their state of mind. They cannot be told because they fought. But they love blue-collar jobs also. And they are also the people who form chairman of board. I'm the only exception. There's the independence generation. These guys enjoyed the freedoms of independence. They saw the fruit of the struggle. So they love freedoms. They agitate for freedoms. They're the guys who always are the activists in the office. Any HR people here? HR people here? They're the guys who always call for Kamkunji after the boss has finished the meeting. These people were born after 1960. 1960 to 1980. What have you done as well? Huh? They are 30-something, Apple, early 40s. They're the people who call for Kamkunjis. After the boss has finished the meeting, they have the meeting, after the meeting. You know, your power. They're elitists, right? They have very little, this is critical, it's a very critical statement, they have very little interaction with the PC.
A personal computer. They're the guys who still say, they're the guys who, they're the guys who still say, nimetumiwa air ticket yangu, sindio? And then they do what? They print it. Munawajua how? Or they are the guys who say, let's circulate a memo. Please bring it for my signature. Forget those guys. There's another group that is coming up that we all now have heard a lot about. These ones were born in the 80s, early 90s. And we famously called them Generation Y. These guys are special people. They are revolutionaries. They were born when the internet was just becoming. Revolutions were happening. Political revolutions across the world were happening. So they were born in the time of the news of the Berlin Wall is falling, democracy in Africa. So they love democracy. They're the people who will every single time ask for a vote. Oh, we're in a meeting, we've discussed, you say, excuse me, I think we should vote on that matter. Do you know these people? Yes. They normally say, you know, we have always done banks particularly. Anybody here banks? I had Coop Bank. I used to work at Coop Bank. I had Coop Bank. Any other bank? Banker? Okay. Banks, they say, oh no, Chase. Well, the problem with Chase is they were not listening to this kind of people. Because these people will always question. They want things reinvented. Why do we, or maybe Chase Bank was listening to them a little too much. They always say, why should it be done that way? Because we've always done it this way. Why? They remind me of my daughter, who, she's 7 now, and she always asks me, Daddy, where are you going? I say, I'm going to meet my friend. Why? Because we have to discuss something. What? And I'm saying, why? These are those people, eh? They will always ask why at the workplace. They are very irritating sometimes because they always want things to be changed. But you must remember they were born with the internet. They are smarter than you. These guys are always playful, always playful. Why? Because they're always playing Angry Birds or Kid Trip. Or what are the other famous games nowadays? They're always on the phone. They're always playing with something. They're very playful. They love instant feedback. But these guys are quickly being overtaken by another generation. Now, this generation is the one I'll spend the next 5 minutes talking about.
I hope I am beginning to make sense on why generational thinking at the workplace are worlds apart. The chairman, your chairman, who's probably archaic, who's probably a pre-independence generation, does not completely see eye to eye with the CEO, who's probably an independence generation, who does not even begin to understand what this Generation Y conversation is about. And what did he say? Fire him. Just fire him. You can't excite people. Fire him. You know those CEOs? But because they don't want to understand. And then there's another generation now. There's another generation. Now these guys are special. These guys, even me, I'm struggling to understand them. Now the new generation, they're called Generation Z. Generation Z are your typical disruptors. They do not conform to anything. Why? Because they were born. The day they were born, they saw an iPad or a smartphone. On the day they were born, they saw it like this and they saw, oh, it will drop by iPad. Alright? These are people who have been born in technology. Technology has dictated their life from day one. They operate in the cloud. Nothing for them is on premise. Technology people, you know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to say amen. See, okay, I'm talking about the internet cloud. These guys operate in the cloud, but also almost quite literally they're in cloud 9, right? They are in a completely different zone. They are completely zoned out from anything and everything that is happening down here. They operate with no rules, because in their world, there are no rules. Think about your children. They will question, they will defy, they will reinvent. They are not disobedient. But then they are not disrespectful. They're just different. Completely living in a different world. They believe in total and absolute freedoms. You can't tell them, don't ride a bicycle at 2 o'clock. They'll ask you, why? My friends ride their bicycle at 2 o'clock. Right? And if you argue that their friends are wrong, what will they do? They'll Google times for riding bicycle. And then they'll come and tell you, dude, you are wrong. But then nowadays they don't even talk, eh? They give you the little talk. Yeah. Do you know these people? What about Gatepa? I'm like spiritual tea. Do you know these people? You see them in the water? Ah, yes, you are one of them there. Thank you for bringing me. They're like, you know, the generation Y used to tell you, Generation Z doesn't even have the energy. They just do that. They believe in something called, they're also as gaming as the other ones. Their difference is this. Generation Z is now operating on a new gaming platform where you help the owner of the game develop the game. So every time you play, you give feedback on how to improve the game. So you say, by the way, this thing looks like this tomorrow, I'm not playing it tomorrow. You better make this guy be able to jump somersault like this. That's when it makes sense. And by the way, new games online are very responsive. The next day, that guy will be able to jump that way, somersault. Right? They believe in something called crowdsourcing. These guys don't want to learn anything. One of them the other day told me, in my office, he told me, I don't need to have that information. I said, excuse me. He said, I don't need to have that information. I just need to know where to find it. Do you know those guys? They don't need to learn. They don't need to waste bandwidth. They don't need to waste storage capacity. Because when I need that information, I'll get it. So why cram it? Duh. These guys live in social media. Their friends, all their friends, they have, by the way, 10,000 friends. But they only know personally 2. The ones they go to school with, so they are forced to sit with them in class anyway. All the other 9,998 are online friends. They are on Facebook, they are on Twitter, they are on Snapchat, they are on IG, and all these other funny things that we have on social media. And the other thing is very critical, you must remember this because I'll come back to it, they love real-time feedback. Real-time feedback. If I piss you off, tell me now, I've pissed you off. Don't wait 4 days later to write a letter, then you'll put it in post office, and it will take another 2 weeks to get to me, to tell me that you are pissed off with me 3 weeks ago. Tell me now. Humanitarian. And by the way, they appreciate it. Real-time feedback. Because, by the way, and let me tell you, the biggest mistake you make is not giving them instant feedback. Because the day they have an opportunity to give you feedback, it will be instant. So give them instant feedback. Now, I have 3 minutes left. They are agents of disruption. And that's what we must appreciate. They are a disturbance to your system. They are a disturbance to the processes that you have spent the last 15 years building. Maureen, thank God, because you've not yet built those systems and processes. But if you have, you're a bank, you're a manufacturer, you are a solid single proprietor business, they will disrupt your business. And I'm telling you this without a fear of doubt. Your business will be disrupted. Every year, we are now churning out 1 million of these guys into the market. Now, whether you like it or not, they will begin to flood your business. Why? Because we love cheap labor, right? So we always employ the young ones to replace the more expensive, more experienced, but aging employees, right? And then we go to the market, we go to the universities, we do road shows, we do career fairs, and we employ all these 23, 22, 24-year-olds. Hello, that's Generation Z. And what they're coming to do to your business is disrupt it. So you need to start appreciating that disruptors are coming to your business. I hope that message is loud and clear. You cannot avoid them, sorry. Unless you want to hire old dinosaurs like us, who are very slow, very archaic, not innovative, but very expensive. Yeah? What does a disturbance to your system mean? You will have to think about changing your business culture. Absolutely change your business culture. Your culture must be able to accommodate this new generation. Those old ways, of saying, we've always done it like this, are gone. This is the 20th century. Hello? Trends for businesses are beginning to change. And if you do not understand the business strength, your past, your present, and where your business is going, you are finished. Your business will not survive. Your department is the one that will be chopped off next. When the next retrenchment comes, you are the next one who will go. Because the CEO is concerned about the bottom line, you are concerned about retaining the culture. You will go. You will be fired. So you need to start thinking about how you re-engineer the trends in your business, the cultures. You need to understand that these people are extreme and over ambitious. Now, if your ambitions cannot match theirs, I'm sorry, there was a time when your ambition did not meet my business ambition, get the hell out of my business. Sorry, this time around, if your ambition does not match theirs, they will drive you out of town. And I'll tell you why. Because they are now your biggest workforce, but they are also your biggest consumer. Now, if you can't match their ambition, they will run you out of town. So you have to begin to catch up with their ambitions. Their ambitions, by the way, are big, ugly, and audacious. So you need to also begin to measure up, right? And start dreaming big. Remember we said they love no rules? In the office, in your business, they don't like those stupid things we call standard operating procedures. Please keep them in the shelf and block them and throw away the key in the Indian Ocean. Please, have that. They don't. Actually, what? Standard operating for what? ISO. This is how they'll respond to you. IKR. LOL, MKT, XOXO. Like, by the way, go to hell.
So please. And sometimes,
non-regulation helps. If regulation was useful for innovation, we would not have M-Pesa today. Amen, Wood? Amen. Good, right? Correct. I was in Safaricom at the advent of M-Pesa, and I can guarantee you, if there was regulation, M-Pesa would have died. The late John Mishuki tried it. It was a fire too hot for him to handle. Even Mishuki, of all the people, the famous one of Jaguarin River, or Rattling a snake. Rattle snake. That's what rattling is, my friend. Now, this one is controversial. They love to learn. They love to learn, and you need to enable them to learn. But they don't want to learn from you. So those training events that you do in hotels for 3 days with a lecturer, very expensively paid from the UK, forget it. You're wasting their time. Develop a nice application. Tell them to download it on their office app in their phone and make it interactive. Then they will bother to learn. At file, Kuba, do you remember those big files like one for banks? Those big files like these are green, big, massive file with lots of pages to read. You go and learn yourself. So they don't want to learn from their parents, they don't want to learn from their bosses, they don't want to learn from nobody, they want to learn from technology. Shared knowledge. They want to pick it from everywhere else and they interact. At the workplace, they are constantly challenging you and your authority. These are the 5 things that you need to remember. They will constantly challenge you and your authority because in their world there's no boss. There's collaboration. Oh, so you think. And they don't tell you, by the way, that time they look at you like that's all. And what's going on in their head is like, oh, really? Yeah, there's no boss in their world. So, don't show them authority, don't lord it over them. They will always question the status quo. Nothing for them should remain as it is, because there's always better. That's the world they live in. Everything as it is. Even if it was built yesterday, by today it should have changed. Why are we still doing what we were doing yesterday? You need to have that mindset. They will always question the status quo. They are disconnected completely from the present because they don't live in the present. They live in the future. Completely in the future. Everything, every learning, everything they do, everything they invest in, it's not about today, it's not about now, it's about the future. They will always hold you accountable. If you say you will do, please do, because they don't forget. I think they have an app somewhere. They register everything you say in meetings. So always deliver. How do you make it work for you? You need to become more ambitious. You need to measure up to their ambition. You need to use their confidence to drive your brand, to drive your product, to drive your business. Give them the business narrative and allow them with that confidence of theirs to go on Twitter and Facebook and all these other places to drive your brand. They are futuristic. They are always thinking about the future. put these guys, if you get them, in that department where there's planning, strategic thinking, futuristic planning, and stuff like that. These are the guys who look at your bottle of water and they'll tell you, by the way, in another 2 years, no one will buy this bottle of water. Because they now want it to look like an elephant or something like that. But put them in that space where they are driving innovation. Collaborative. Don't send them emails anymore. By the way, if you still send your staff emails, I even me by the way I want to work for you. Stop sending emails. Email notices at memo in red in capital. Wow! No, forget it. Like I told you, create an app that allows them to collaborate. Nowadays they call it collaboration, not communication. Because by the way, they build networks at the speed of light, but they also dismantle those networks at double speed of light. Whoever is their friend today will not be their friend by end of day tomorrow, because they will unfollow, unlike, WhatsApp. They will block you. The WhatsApp one is the one that left and left. This one is important for HR people. HR people, this is important. Don't give them annual reviews. They hate it, because if you've not spoken to me for the last 12 months, why now? They love constant feedback. Schedule monthly reviews, if not weekly. They love it. They love feedback, because that's the world they live in. But just don't call it a review. What's their reward? Who knows? HR people. These kind of people. Generation Z. What's the reward? Money. They know no other language. At your, we'll give you a certificate to put in a frame so that I now connect. Money is the language they know. Bring dollars, bills. Yo. Their reward is money. Now, we can have a value conversation around whether it's a good thing to drive the money conversation, but hey, if you want to remain a relevant employer, the reward is money, period. The other value conversations, let's go have in church and at home with your wife and husband. In the office, choose. Dollars. I want to finish by saying the biggest risk, Mark Zuckerberg. Say, by the way, Mark Zuckerberg, you know, I saw only a few generations Y and generation Z. Do you know who Mark Zuckerberg is? Hello, do I have to explain to you? Oh, you know him in there. But then if you're not Mark, if you don't know Mark Zuckerberg, just, go find something else. Stop walking, by the way. Yeah. The biggest risk, Mark Zuckerberg said, the biggest risk is not taking any risk. In a world that is changing really quickly, the only strategy that is guaranteed to fail is not taking that risk. These guys today form the largest market in the world. In Kenya alone, these guys form 20% of your market. In Kenya. Global average is slightly less than that. Now, if you think about it, if you have 20% market share, 20% of the market being Generation Z, you need people inside. That is significant, guys. 20% of your market can bring your business down. You need people in your business who understand that market. So look at them not as a risk, as we have traditionally looked at them. Look at them as an asset.
We touched on issues that as parents we also face with our kids. I'm just curious, how far do you intend to do this outreach? Because it's really enlightening, so to speak. But from a government perspective, in terms of how the norm is vis-a-vis thinking outside the box, yeah, how far are you reachable in case we want to? Yeah.
Is there anything that we do contain Generation Z? Because the way we're looking at it, we're going to work with lawlessness. Thank you very much.
My question is, Generation Z accounts for 20% of our consumers and our market. How do we keep up with Generation Z who live in the future and make sure that we're still in touch with the 80% of our market, which is the pre-growing market?
This is my passion. This is what I do. I love young people. I love to empower young people. I hope they don't make the same mistakes I did. I hope they achieve more than I have. But the reality of life as it is today is the best way to reach them is online. And so, a lot of online campaigns. I ran had a social action platform called Onward, which is basically just focused on getting these guys, Generation Z, Generation Y, to focus their energies on community development. Right? So I think the question we need really to be asking ourselves is how many more ambassadors can be out there telling these guys, and unfortunately the ambassadors we have today going out talking to these guys go to tell them that's not how it's supposed to be. In our days we were not like that. That's not what they want to hear. And I know traditionally we've said, I know, I don't care if you like it, I don't care if you like hearing this, but I will tell you because it's the truth. By the way, kwenda huko na hiyo truth yako. Because they have their truth. Truth is relative, by the way. It's your truth, but they have their truth. Now the question is, how many more of us can reach out to them and help them to channel? Because the problem of this generation is that they can be disruptive. I said they're disruptive, but they can also be destructive. If not guided, if not fashioned, if their energy is not channeled into the good things, into producing, into innovating, into engineering and stuff like that. So we need to really, really have more people speaking to them and encouraging them and helping them channel it. I hope that helps. As chairman of Youth Board, the wheels of government move very slowly. So I'm very frustrated coming from private sector and knowing that I can sit down and have 2 meetings and we say, by the way, my first board meeting, it wasn't even a board meeting, it was the meeting before the board meeting. It was a board meeting before the board meeting. And we were deciding on one item to be included in the board meeting. It took us 3 hours. Something that on a normal day would have taken me 5 minutes in a corporate meeting. Do we agree? What are the positives? What's the worst that can happen? What is the impact? What are the outcomes? How do we track it? Finished. 15 minutes, meeting is over, everybody's back to their work. This one, hey. Now, that's the challenge of government. The wheels of government turn very slowly. But we are consigned and committed to make sure that institutions of government are covered. All MPs, ministries, departments, agencies, everybody is aligned. Tutanyorosha, we will cajole until everybody is aligned. It won't be easy. It won't happen in 2 years. It won't happen in 5, but it will happen. For as long as I am chairman, we will continue to focus on ensuring that government begins to, and like I said earlier, this is not just an employer problem, guys. It's a governance problem. Government doesn't understand these people. Majority, 60% of Kenyans are below the age of 24. 60%. 60%. Your PS treasury is 67. When you're telling him to make a youth-focused budget, for him last year, Are you normal? Are you a mumu? He doesn't get it. Right? But eventually, hopefully, government will align and it will begin to appreciate that the majority of its citizens are Generation Z and something else. You know, we've used all the alphabetical letters to make a mission Z. That has to be from there what we reduce, maybe numericals. Oh, I'm said one. Hey. No, somebody told me it will now be iGen. You didn't get it. Wilfred, very scary, I agree. How do we contain them? You can't. That's my answer. You can't. So you, when you're sitting there as a CEO and you're pacing up and down your office and you're wondering, how will I do it? So there's no answer. Call them into a room and tell them, friends, this is your company. I want to hear your view on what you think the future of this company is. And you'll get beautiful ideas. And then you say, fantastic. Now, I want to put together, don't put a committee, my friend. See, your problem is, I know from there, you can say, now let's put together a committee. No. Set up an application on the cloud called Ideas Factory. And tell them, dump your ideas in there. Others will dump their ideas in there. We will have somebody who's putting all these ideas together. Keep going back. And you know what Wikipedia does? It allows you for crowdsourcing. Let's create this idea as a crowd. That's the committee they understand. But then they'll be present, they'll come, they'll turn up. But you know nowadays they are zombies, they'll be like this. They are not asleep, they are on WhatsApp. Samsung, 80-20 principle. Think about it. You sell tea. Who's your biggest consumer? Tea. This is practical now. Let's see if you know your market. What do you do at Spiritual? Your market. Perfect. So, who's your biggest consumer? 20 to 45. 20 to 45? Great. Now, of 20 to 45, let me remember those statistics. Of 20 to 45, they probably form 50% of that population, right? Now, 50% of your largest market is below the age of 24. Think about it that way. Think about how significant that impacts your bottom line. Is it 80-20 anymore? They're not just 20% in statistical numbers. In terms of impact to your bottom line, they're much more. And we can do that with any product in this room, and I'm sure we will end up with the same result. Except, of course, motor vehicles, because they can't afford it.
Ronnie Osumba. Tupigie makofi sasa. We will now go on to the quiz section. Which African country became the 182nd member of the United Nations in 1993? Question number 2. General knowledge. In the First World War, Germany declared war on Russia and France. Which year was this? Question number 3. Who is the father of geometry? Question number 4. What is the geographic term of the intersecting lines drawn on maps and globes? Question number 5. In 1894, the Hungarian brothers Laszlo and George Biro made the first ballpoint pen. What was it called? Question number 6. In 1887, a veterinary surgeon invented the pneumatic tire. What was his name? Question number 7. Who designed the first hand glider? Question number 8. Who is the author of the book 1984? Question number 9. How many years did the 100 Years' War last? The last question, question number 10. Vodka, Galliano, and orange juice are used to make which classic cocktail? Voices being played by the audio speakers. Voice 1. Voice 4. Voice number 5. Voice number 6. Voice number 7. Voice number 8. Voice number 9. Voice number 10. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of category number 2, and in the voices phase 1. Phase 2. Phase 3. Face 4. Face 5. Face 6. Silence, 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 please. Face 7. Silence, please. Open. Silence. Face 8. Face 9. Face 10. Silence, please. Silence. Movie 1.
A.k.a. Susan Danford.
Intelligence of a meeting between Danford and numbers 4 and 5 on our most wanted list. Believe that they're connected to the recent suicide bombing in Kenya. We have information that they will be in this house today. This is an operation to capture, not kill.
Range 22,000 feet.
You have your orders, Lieutenant. Your job is to be there in the sky.
Yes, ma'am.
Now going to movie number 2.
The scene is a Tier 1 CIA target. We cannot let him go.
As a significant threat to civilian life, I have no choice.
Surrender the prisoner.
Now going to movie number 3.
I am on it.
Now going to movie number 4.
For the record, I just see Mark walking in, and I'm still alive. Obviously, I have no way to contact NASA or my crewmates, but even if I could, it would take 4 years for the remaining mission to reach me, and I'm going to have this like the last 31 days. So,
now going to movie number 5.
these are things I've replayed.
Let me give you CEO lessons.
I didn't talk about this big, beautiful, exciting thing that you created.
Why would we do that?
Now going to movie number 6.
Everybody say it with me. There used to be a great tower along the sea. Eyes become light, the light that you shine. No one in this family wants to sing.
Now going to movie number 7.
There is a moment when you have to choose whether to be silent or to stand up.
Tonight, Malala remains in intensive care. She was shot in the head for daring to suggest girls should go to school.
Me and my wife, we cried all the night. The doctors told me she will survive, but she may not be the same as she was.
They shot me on the left side of my head. They thought that the bullet would silence us. I am the same like...
Now going to movie number 8.
I was the father of 3 children, the husband of a wonderful wife, a man with a great future. On January 18th, I died. When I woke up, I was in heaven. Man wrote towards deceased.
Now going to movie number 9.
What are you doing so deep, Doctor? Don't we know what you are? I know what you are. I know where you came from. Horse, wing, and cow.
3. National anthem number 4. Anthem number 5. Anthem number 6. Anthem number 7. Anthem number 8. Now, song number 8. Alright, you can dance. Song number 15, category number 6, and that ends our categories. Please, as team captain, fill out all the answers. Make sure that the team name is there. Right? Make sure. Switch to this person. Can you switch? Right? So switch to this. Switch. Right? Switch and go. Yes. Switch and go. Switch. Make sure you're switching. Please make sure you're switching because that will be a disqualification. Captain, who are attacked to a mission. Zawadi toka Bilas na tutapata team hapa kwa kilicho bora. Watu kumi. Do we have all the team captains here? Alright, team captains are here. Hi. Very fast, very fast. second. The second runners up, and she gets a gift from Billars, and her team gets a gift hamper courtesy of Kericho Gold Team. I'd like to call a representative of Kericho Gold. Congratulations. Coming in number 3 with 38.5 points. This team has Mukambuni Mwawasi, Lorraine Mwamboti, Virginia Bugwa, Emma Gilari, Charles Mugeni, Brian Otieno. This is the stars, and the team captain is Charles Mugeni. Coming in number 3. All right, let's clap for them. First one is that main quiz night. This team, they won by 0.5. It's as close as that. Now this team comes from an area where people say they're hills. This team has a lot of potential people who are working in a very big industry. This is the Taita Taveta County government. This is Team Power, Team Captain David Kimaro with 39 points. Just a sheer 0.5. That's it. Their captain will get Sarova. Right, Sarova sold Weekend for 2, and Sarova sold Leap. And the team will get 30,000 while the Safaricom airtime. Alright? To what is still the last one back on stage, Mr. Ronnie Osumba. This team, alright? Well, there were 10, but they have 9 email addresses. Okay? It's the first thing. And this team had a very good performance. The team captain goes by the name, or the team name is Beyond Z. Right? Fidel, Charles, Shaka, Steve, Nelly, Alan, and Al-O. Okay? Weekend for 2 of Salama Salt League and 30,000 worth of Safaricom airtime courtesy of government. Let's come for them, the winners of tonight. Beyond Z. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of our. See you next time for the second.